Hannam-dong, Seoul. A wealthy neighborhood, lush, green and exclusive, but darkness lurked beneath its beauty. Whispers of a haunted past, stories of unexplained events. Residents spoke of cold spots and moving shadows. A sense of unease hung heavy in the air. This was the legacy of Hannam-dong, a place where beauty and terror intertwined. Among the opulent homes stood a grand old house. Its paint was peeling, the windows were dark like empty eyes. Locals whispered tales, they said it was cursed, they said it was a portal to another realm. No one dared to go near it. The house stood on a hill. It overlooked the neighborhood, a silent sentinel to the secrets it held. Its shadow stretched long and dark, a constant reminder of the horrors that awaited inside. For years, it stood empty, a testament to the fear it instilled. But one day, a young woman named Mi-hee arrived. She was unaware of the darkness that awaited her. Mi-hee was drawn to the house's faded elegance. She saw beauty in its decay. She saw potential beneath the grime. She dismissed the local rumors. Old wives' tales, she thought. Nothing more. She purchased the house at a bargain price, excited to make it her own.
This place has so much character. I can't wait to make it my home.
She hired a team of renovators. They began to breathe life back into the old house. But as they worked, the atmosphere grew heavy. Tools went missing. Strange noises echoed from empty rooms. The workers felt uneasy. They felt watched. But Mi-hee dismissed their concerns. She was determined to create her dream home. She refused to believe the stories. She refused to acknowledge the signs. But the house had other plans. It was waiting to reveal its true nature. The first few nights were the hardest. Mi-hee lay awake. The silence was deafening, broken only by the creaking of the old house.
It's just an old house settling, nothing to worry about.
She heard whispers, soft, unintelligible murmurs. They seemed to come from the walls themselves. She dismissed them as her imagination, the stress of the move. But the whispers persisted. Growing louder each night, they seemed to be calling her name, taunting her.
Who's there? Is someone there?
One night she woke to a cold presence in her room. A chill ran down her spine. She felt a weight on the edge of her bed, as if someone was sitting there watching her. She turned slowly, her heart pounding. The room was empty. But the feeling of being watched lingered. She was no longer alone. The house was no longer empty. Something else was present, something dark and sinister. Days turned into weeks. The strange occurrences intensified. Objects moved on their own. Doors slammed shut without a breeze. The temperature fluctuated wildly. One moment the house was stifling hot. The next, it was icy cold. Mi-hee started to feel a constant chill, as if an unseen presence was always near. Her dreams were plagued by nightmares, vivid, terrifying visions of shadowy figures and disembodied voices.
Why is it so cold in here? What is happening to me?
One afternoon she was in the living room. She felt a sudden drop in temperature. The air grew thick and heavy. She turned to see a mist forming. It swirled and pulsed, taking on a vaguely human shape. She watched in terror as the mist coalesced. It formed into the figure of a man. He was tall and gaunt with long, sharp fingers. His eyes glowed with an eerie red light.
Mi-hee gasped, her breath catching in her throat.
The figure turned towards her.
Its eyes seemed to pierce through her very soul.
She was paralyzed with fear, unable to move or speak. The figure took a step towards her. Its movements were slow and deliberate.
As if it was savoring her terror.
Mi-hee closed her eyes, bracing herself for the inevitable. But when she opened her eyes, the figure was gone. The mist had dissipated. The room was empty. Had it all been a hallucination, a trick of her tired mind?
She tried to convince herself it was nothing.
But deep down, she knew the truth. The house was haunted, and whatever was haunting it, it was toying with her. Days turned into a blur of fear and paranoia. Mi-hee felt like a prisoner in her own home. Every creak of the floorboard, every whisper of the wind sent shivers down her spine. She couldn't escape the feeling of being watched, of being hunted. One day, she discovered a hidden door in the attic. It was concealed behind a dusty old tapestry. Curiosity, and perhaps a desperate need for answers, compelled her to open it. The door creaked open, revealing a narrow staircase. The air inside was thick with the smell of decay and dust. It was oppressive, suffocating. Mi-hee hesitated for a moment, her heart pounding in her chest. She knew she should turn back, that whatever lay at the top of those stairs was best left undisturbed. But something, perhaps a morbid fascination, drew her in. Mi-hee climbed the stairs slowly, each step echoing in the silence. The air grew colder as she ascended. The darkness at the top of the stairs seemed to press down on her, suffocating her.
Breathing heavily. I have to keep going.
She reached the top of the stairs and found herself in a small, dusty room. A single window cast a pale light on the floor, revealing the outline of a figure huddled in the corner.
Gasping, Who are you?
As Mi-hee's eyes adjusted to the darkness, she realized with a jolt of horror that it was the figure of a young woman. She was dressed in a long white gown, her hair cascading down her back like a waterfall of ink.
Softly, help me.
The woman slowly raised her head, her eyes meeting Mi-hee's. Her face was pale and gaunt, her lips stretched into a grotesque smile.
Whispering, oh my God.
Mi-hee stumbled back, her heart racing. She wanted to scream, to run, but her legs felt like lead. She was trapped, frozen in place by the sheer terror of the situation.
Panicking. No, this can't be happening.
The spectral woman stood, her movements slow and deliberate. She glided towards Mi-hee, her eyes never leaving hers. Mi-hee could feel the icy breath of the apparition on her skin.
Whispering, you can't leave.
Just as the spectral woman was about to reach her, Mi-hee blinked. When she opened her eyes, the apparition was gone. The attic room was empty, plunged into an eerie silence.
Shaking. Where did she go?
Mi-hee was left standing alone, her heart pounding in her chest. She had never felt such terror, such a palpable sense of dread. She knew then that she had to escape the house.
Determined. I need to get out of here now.
Mi-hee fled the attic, her mind racing. She ran out of the house, not stopping until she reached the safety of the street. She never looked back. The next day, when she didn't show up for work, her colleagues grew concerned. They went to her new house, fearing the worst.
Concerned. We need to search the area thoroughly.
They found the house empty. Mi-hee's belongings were still there, but there was no sign of her. It was as if she had vanished into thin air. The police were called, but they found no trace of Mi-hee.
Sighing. It's like she just disappeared.
Days turned into weeks, then months, but she was never seen again. The mystery of her disappearance remained unsolved. The grand old house on the hill stood empty once more, a chilling reminder of the horrors that had transpired within its walls. Locals whispered that Mi-hee had become another victim of the house's dark curse.
Whispering, some say they've seen her ghost wandering the halls at night.
Some claim to have seen her ghost wandering the halls at night, searching for peace. Others said they could hear her screams echoing through the empty rooms.
Solemnly, the truth of what happened to Mi-hee that night in the attic remains a mystery. But one thing is certain, the haunting of Hannam-dong is far from over.
The house on the hill stood as a testament to the enduring power of fear, a chilling reminder that some secrets are best left buried.